on, they all look so good, bro.
BTS is back. You may be wondering what musicians think, whether they like it, whether they don't, whether they find it interesting, whether they find it...
Tune in now to find out.
Exactly.
Wait, actually...
Can you put your mics on though?
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
How familiar are you with the group BTS?
I feel like I've heard of them before.
You just know their birthdays, you just know every single one of their title tracks.
Yeah, I used to like BTS when I was a youngin'. But like only during Blood, Sweat, and Tears era.
I feel like I know nothing. And I know RM.
Jungkook V.
Oh, Jungkook! Yes!
Jungkook! Jin, Jimin. A lot of J names.
Wait, why do you know so many names?
This is gonna be a very awkward story time. When I was in 6th grade, I liked this girl who was a big fan of BTS. And she was obsessed with Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
You were in 6th grade when that came out!
Yeah. It might have...
I would say the lore that I know is that they were really popular for a while. They were like the kings of K-pop because they were just so popular.
I don't think we've ever reacted to BTS.
If that's the case, then this might be the first BTS song I've ever heard. Well, this is...
Well, so this is...
This is awkward.
After a nearly 4-year-long hiatus, the K-pop group released their highly anticipated album Arirang on March 20th.
Helen cheated. Helen's fired from ReacttotheK.
The choice of the setting of the music video is very intentional as BTS set out on a boat called Arirang into the ocean. Do you know like the history behind Arirang? It was first recorded by 7 South Koreans who came on a boat over to the United States. So BTS is like, oh, it's like we're the modern version of 7 South Koreans traveling to a new world, bringing our music with us. Rather than resisting the current, the song frames the choice to move ahead at one's own pace as an expression of love for life itself. Ahead the release of this album, the member Jimin shared that Swim reflects where BTS is at now with their career and signifies their commitment to keep evolving their artistry. If the album speaks about our roots and deep emotions, Swim represents the present where we are right now. The song is composed by James Eisen, Sean Foreman, Tyler Spry, Jamison Bakken, Ryan Tedder, RM, Kirsten Spencer, Derek Milano, and P. Dog. If you're hearing this right now, that means this video isn't monetizable, nor is it sponsored. Instead, this video is brought to you by you, our YouTube members and supporters on Patreon. Patreon and YouTube memberships are how viewers like you can support our team and also gain access to tons of exclusive content.
He has such a unique voice. It's like pretty dark and like cloudy.
Yeah.
슬럼프란 노래 하나 만들까?
Slump would make a great song.
진짜 슬프게 하나 만들까요?
질게임으로 해야 되나? 타이틀을 쓰겠다 이런 얘기보다는.
The silence after that was great.
Thank you so much to all of you who already support us. We really couldn't keep doing this without you. And now, back to the video.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Ah, nostalgia. Wait, can I just say how much I miss? No, how much I miss
6 seconds.
the.
It's 6 seconds and you haven't put in all your headphones.
Yo!
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that's not the song.
Okay, heels. Those are cute.
All of her fits in this are incredible. Stunning.
Who is she? Wait! Lily Reinhardt!
Oh my gosh, it's a heist? Is she gonna steal the ship?
She is kind of giving Elizabeth's one though.
All right, let's go.
Ooh. What a beautiful synth sound.
Okay, Mog.
He looks so awesome.
I miss his voice.
I love his voice.
Okay, pirate look, Jimin.
Wow, a sound that evokes the pizzicato, but it's not the pizzicato.
What a unique sound. Like the producing, and I didn't realize that BTS sounded like this.
We love a lyrical rap verse, you know.
Would you call this rapping?
It's rap singing.
Yeah.
That's a very trendy thing. Very, very trendy.
I dig it.
It's like a very sustained guitar. It's like a kind of like low guitar.
Oh, so pretty. I love the octave doubling.
Damn, they all look so good, bro.
This is one where the chorus, it has my heart.
It's interesting, they started with the chorus.
Ooh, second verse. Wait a minute.
Oh.
The production's great, I gotta say.
Oh, whoa. Oh, it stopped.
Wow.
Maybe she's getting a little seasick.
Lord.
I like the synth pads.
Oh, they're not real?
Oh. Yeah, it's very like vibey.
Yeah.
It really features their beautiful vocals.
Oh wait, you're so cute.
Let's go.
Yeah, what a unique sound.
The high-low doubling is giving me chills.
The instrumentals just like totally came to the forefront of the sound.
Nice. You hear those vocals kind of panning in the, in the headphones?
around, yeah.
That's nice.
The heart of the ocean? Oh.
Jack!
Oh, she went for a swim.
Oh. Ooh.
That was very pretty.
Credit sequence. Oh my god, wait, we get an outro.
Lily Reinhardt? That's a name I know. From where?
Riverdale.
Yes. Yay!
Very nice. Very fun.
Ooh, ooh.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, a million yeses. That was awesome.
I feel very fulfilled with the music.
I really liked it. I thought this was really fun. It's really soothing too.
The first time the da 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 showed up in the first verse, it really sounded like Riding Solo by Jason Derulo, which also has a Star Wars parody.
I'm looking at the sky, I'm solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm looking at the sky.
Honestly, it was just really vibey. It was so good. They're very much like these R&B / poppy vibes. It didn't feel too heavy, and it was like, it kind of put me in like a very like artsy, ethereal space, which I really enjoyed.
Yes. How interesting. How interesting. I do not remember them sounding like this from anything that I've heard.
It's very low key for like the comeback.
Yeah, like it's very reserved. This feels more grounded.
I thought it would be more like similar to The Boy in Love. A little energetic and like happy, but this seems calmer, more meaningful, I think.
This sounds more like the BTS sort of like sound and like the introspection. This kind of has like the reflectiveness that I think a lot of their other tracks have.
This is just like, yeah, we're back and here's more music.
I feel like this is just like a we're still afloat type thing. Hey, blue, and then they're back in the water.
Again, it's these older K-pop groups where it's not like this crazy, wacky, in-your-face
Frisian dominant, lightning strikes mogging.
But like, there's a solid, strong idea at its core, pretty simple melodic ideas, and it was produced really well, which I appreciate.
Like having a more atmospheric sound, I think in any other situation would be a pretty risky move. But I think this kind of sets up the album more like thematically rather than musically for a lot of it.
Here's the thing. A lot of the solo tracks have run the gamut in terms of styles. And so coming back with something that is like this, I think it's a good move. It's like we're all together, and the fact that that's happening is enough, and the song is just, it just brings us all together.
You know what I'm missing though? I think I want more actual rapping and not so much sing rapping. I think that's where I was like, wait, there's no Suga or Hobie verse. It's there, they're just singing.
And especially since they're really good at adapting their rapping style to a more melodic, slower song. Yeah, they can do the melodic sing rapping, but they can also rap during a ballad. And they're like some of the few rappers that I actually want to hear rap during a ballad.
Exactly, me too.
I preferred that it was kind of a singing rappy because the chorus is just so calming.
I think they're going for this melodic approach though, because that's fitting a lot of current trends. Where it's like, how do we make rapping more catchy and sing-alongable to, I guess not a word.
But like, I think there's, even though it's a chill track, you can still have like a good like fast like lyrical vibe, you know? And that's okay. I just wanted a bit more maybe like rhythmic variation in some of like the rapping, perhaps.
This song reminds me the most of Spring Day, just in terms of vibes and the spaciness of the resonant bass. I think Suga's verse really sticks with me, so I'd love to hear more of that energy in this.
I loved hearing kind of like the breathy vocals overlap one another. I thought that was like a really beautiful blend of tones.
Just much more refreshing. Maybe it's just the calmness in the singer's voice during the chorus. It just was nice.
I have to say, I just miss so much how their voices work together as a group, because they've done so much solo stuff at this point. And so hearing them together again just made me really emotional, because I feel like their ways of singing and tones work best like in one song.
It's something that I really enjoyed in BTS as well, is that all 7 of them have such unique and amazing voices, like in how they express themselves in a song. You know, it makes it a really unique.
Like I feel like what I've missed is especially like the vocal line, like the different timbres that they use, just those like subtle differences in delivery like between them.
I love RM. I love. He's got that dark timbre and it's like pretty low set most of the time, and I really appreciate it because it's kind of in contrast to like a good 4 or 5 out of 7 of the members. Like, it's very mellow and he has a way with words and it just flows in a certain way, and it's just a very soothing voice to me.
Who's this?
That's J-Hope.
I like what he did here. He's not entirely ending the word, he's letting it bleed over. So like he's not like making the words insanely articulate, and he's just kind of letting them reverberate, and I really like that effect.
Something else I like a lot is like the way the voice is like characterized. So there's like a lot of these like tenutos where we on Swim, where we have like swim, swim. So there's this nice legato whenever they start like singing those longer lines. The reason I bring this up is if you have something that's about a quarter note in length, so there's sometimes a proclivity to shorten it and make it quite staccato. Swim, swim. But they're very purposely going swim, swim, and falling through the full length of that quarter.
This drum pattern, it takes me out of the almost undefinable experience of what comes before. Yeah, there's something too concrete about the boom, boom, boom. And the drums are also very front and center.
I felt like there's like a synth going, like just going like eighth notes, like okay, and it's like pretty treble heavy and pretty high. I thought that was more noticeable than the drums coming in. Like the drum groove just kind of was like not something that I was at all focused on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In the beginning, the bum 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 da motive is really short. Yeah, almost like pizzicato with like dots on top of them. And that throughout the song becomes more like bowed with the string, not pizzicato-y short. So that was interesting how they changed their articulations with the instrumentations. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Doesn't it develop and kind of shift as it goes through? Because when it's more sustained, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Yeah. But then when it's more plucked, it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4
The plucked one is a little different. Yeah. So it kind of has that sort of like oscillating, kind of stuck feeling, and then finally it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have like the gravity
Like a
into
wave?
the next. Yeah, then you have like the gravity into, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then in RM's verse, you're right, it's 3, so it's which creates a different sort of like movement because I think it happens quicker.
I thought that was a nice like variation. Maybe that's like the kind of like rippling tides. Not always just one pattern, but always like changing and kind of have to navigate through that.
I feel like the chord progression of this really kind of feels like a boat rocking. That's like the vibe bit that I get. We're going back and forth between a D major 7-ish and a C sharp minor 7. What I love about it is that it becomes very predictable after a while, but there's always all these different sounds and things coming out of the texture. They always do it a little bit differently to the point where it never gets old, and neither one feels resolved. I don't think the song is either in D major or in C sharp minor. Neither one feels like it resolved. It doesn't feel resolved at any point in this until we get to the very end and the chords change. B minor 7. F sharp minor, E7, or E major, B minor, oh, and then A, F sharp minor over A, and then E. And that's the end of the song. They wait to change the chords until the end of the song. If you ask me what key this is in, I would say like, I mean, honestly, does it even have a key center? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's an A. I think it's A major. But the thing is, do we have an A major chord in this song ever? Ever. Ever, ever, ever. No. No, we don't. There is not a single A major chord in this song ever. So if this song is in A major, it never resolves. It never has a moment of reaching a final conclusion. The variety of different synth sounds they used, each one caught my ear in a different way. And it just like created this atmosphere of sound that I really felt like I never wanted to end. Like I was sad when the sound was over. I was happy there was an outro because I was like, no, I'm not done listening yet.
The thing that I thought was interesting about the textures is that they were all dark textures but bright sound. Like the sound, they might have a really low 808, but it didn't feel like depressive to the song. It just felt kind of like more like heavy.
It's produced so well. Like the way that the arpeggiated chords in the soprano are kind of like passing through different sounds. Sometimes it sounds like a pizzicato, but sometimes it's also a little bit more synthetic. And I think that comes from being layered, like you have different instruments layered on top of each other and they kind of fade in and out. What stands out to me the most is this low buzzing bass. So they do a lot of octave doubling in the entire track with both the voices and the instrumentals, which gives a feeling of huge depth and space to the melody and also gives a feeling of resonance and echo.
There's so much more room to be open and to be like super expansive in the way your group sounds and to be super like experimental with just like how little orchestration you do and how little filler sound you use, because there are some songs that we've listened to, it's so much, which sometimes I really like it. But this is also such a unique and great way of remodeling sound and how we perceive BTS. It's very soupy, and you kind of get lost in like this like you get lost in the sauce, man. For most of the song, it's a lot of the same. If it's the same the whole way through, then I don't like it. But this is a prime example of something that can be similar the whole way through, and it's really good.
Something that I really enjoyed about this is that no sections are particularly that different from each other, but I think that really emulates like the ocean, and I really liked that repetitive nature. I thought it suited like the message of the song very well. It was really beautiful.
I realized why the song feels so overwhelming, like emotionally, for me at least. There's so many just different layers of sound, and it's almost as if they're uncoordinated. Like if you're thinking of an orchestra playing it, you suddenly just hear sounds fading in, fading out, but it's not in a rhythm. It's just like wishy-washy.
Like an ocean wave.
Period.
And there's like an expressiveness to the melodic choice. There's like a large leap. Large intervals, I think, in music in general always effectually represent like some kind of reach. And so it emotionally has a different depth than like moving stepwise too. Stepwise would be. That's the inner line. But then the leaps create like such like a long, especially this is like my favorite part. It's just like you just want to reach for it, and like I never play it well enough to like get my point across. I don't know, leaps overall in like classical music is just very expressive, and I think a lot of artists still do that because it's just like a musically if you're good at music, you know these things.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're a classical musician, whatever.
I've always felt like they've been really successful on like making a happy sounding song with kind of like the twinge of sadness in it. To me, it just sounds like coming to terms with like that the change is part of like the experience and everything.
What's happening in the music video? Do we know the lore? Do we know the plot?
So she's at a museum. She sees a ship at the museum. Let me think about the lore. Because I think they fell off the lore a little bit.
The lore
hasn't been happening since we are wherever.
I don't think this relates to the lore.
But if you think about,
do you think it relates to the lore?
Anything can relate to the lore if you really try. Jin's a time traveler. That was one of the main theories back in the day.
One eternity later.
So maybe he time traveled and brought them together on the ship, and now they're happy crewmates.
But I just thought that it's like, I think it's more metaphorical for like kind of the subliminal influence, well, that like music in general can have. Like it can also be kind of representing like the work that has gone into it, or like the work getting to them to this point that like isn't seen
on a journey
necessarily.
Maybe she's just like going through life and she's experiencing a journey and her feet keep getting wet. She keeps like jumping off and swimming and swimming and swimming, and they're just like kind of like her guardian angels are like, climb back on, you can do this again. I feel like whenever a K-pop idol can't be seen, they're guardian angels.
I would love to know the lore behind the storyline. If there's anyone that is an experienced BTS hardcore fan, please let us know.
Yeah.
What is this about?
This is a 7. It does a lot of things well. It doesn't have a wow factor for me, but it's well produced, well performed. Just the sound is really nice.
I'd give it, 7.5, maybe close to an 8.
This is not usual K-pop, I think. Like instead of just using some spaghetti western tactics in a song or using some like really, really electronic sounds to get like cheat code out there, this is just such like a standalone, this is how the song is supposed to sound, and it's not totally K-pop.
I also like the message of it all. Like it's like very kind of romantic, but then also like there's kind of like a softer tone to it.
In their statement, they said the song mirrors life itself. We hope it resonates with many people as they move through each day, taking each moment as it comes, splashing along and continuing to swim forward. The more you listen, the warmer it feels. So we hope it becomes a source of strength as people go through their lives.
It is, I love that they talk about it feeling warmer with each listen.
Interesting to compare the original track with the Steve Aoki remix. He really puts all the hits where they need to be to really bring out their like very individual 3 styles.
Yeah.
So I put this in tier.
Oh God. All for a 6th grade crush, man. That's dedication.
And then I moved to Texas.